Howdy, guys. Welcome to night 67 of Big Brother All-Stars. This is Cliff Notes from outside the Big Brother house. A good Sunday morning to y'all. I hope you enjoyed y'all Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. I did. I got in a lot of college football. Got to watch my A&M Aggies beat Florida Gators. Whoop! Sorry, Zach Ranson, y'all Florida fans. And I also got a lot of Big Brother live feeds in. We did have a veto competition, so the Big Brother house guests had a busy Saturday of themselves. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what happened yesterday and what happened overnight. First of all, the feeds came back on, around 5:30 or so, Big Brother time, West Coast time. And we immediately see that the veto competition that was held was the BB Comix, as evidenced by the screenshot I've got behind me. Yes, I'm glad they got BB Comix fit in. I love that competition. So who won BB Comix this year? Well, the veto winner is Nicole. So Nicole gets a clean sweep. She won HOH for her first competition win of the season. She follows it right back up with a veto win in the BB Comix. Now she's an old hand at this. She already won BB Comix in her one of her past seasons. So this is her second victory in a row in this competition. So she's got this figured out. Apparently her winning time was about 11 minutes. I think Nicole Anthony last year finished in about 5.5 minutes, but we don't know the difference in configurations between my season and this season and COVID, how it may have affected setup, things like that. But Nicole wins in 11 minutes. Christmas finishes at about 27 minutes in second place. Enzo has 28. Memphis has 31. We don't know about Cody, but it sounds like Nicole just absolutely smoked this competition. So props to you, Nicole. You're in full command at this point, at least until the veto ceremony. And then all the power switches over to the two people who will be casting the votes, which I imagine is going to be Cody and Enzo. It's got to be. I don't see that changing at all, but we'll talk about that. All right, so let's get right into some conversations. Let's start off in the key room. This is Memphis and Christmas talking. They're both on the block right now. Christmas is telling Memphis, saying, look, Memphis, you need to go talk to Nicole. We have got to get her to flip that, to use a veto. You go talk to Nicole. You offer her any kind of deal you can think of that sounds legitimate. Promise to take her to the final two, promise to use a veto on her. I don't care what it is. Just make promises. We've got to get her to use that veto. More power to you if you can make it work, Christmas, but I just do not see it happening at all. But that's the plan, is to try to get her to use the veto. Right after that, outside the storage room, Christmas heads upstairs to talk to Nicole. Memphis is outside the storage room talking to Cody and Enzo. Memphis is saying, hey, guys, I hugged Christmas. I said, hey, we had a good run, but one of us is going home on Thursday. And supposedly Christmas at that point, this is before the live feeds came on, supposedly Christmas at that point responded by saying, no, I will get Nicole to use that veto. I will get her to use it. Nicole, it's going to be a long couple of days until this veto ceremony on Monday, because you're going to have Christmas following you around, begging you to use that veto the entire time. So just be prepared. Memphis is acting as though this is just perfect. That, hey, yeah, let Nicole, she's got the veto, let her get blood on her hands in terms of juries and all that by not using the veto. Our hands are tied. We don't have any choice. And y'all guys vote to send Nicole Christmas out the door. And hey, it's perfect for us. Well, Memphis, don't be so certain. Don't be so secure, because I don't know if it's going to end up the way that you think it's going to end up. There's a very good chance that Memphis could be voted out this week instead of Christmas. But it isn't completely decided, and we're going to keep an eye over the next few days and see. So Christmas, as I mentioned, is heading up to the HOH room to talk to Nicole. Once she gets up there's not really a lot of game conversation. Christmas is kind of kissing up to Nicole a little bit, saying, oh, it feels great to be queen. You got the full power, right? And Nicole's like, yeah, it's pretty good. They both decide to keep their BB Comix uniforms on throughout most of the evening itself. And so that's really about it. There's not a lot up there going on. Now, as far as the BB Comix themselves, I tried to listen throughout the evening to figure out what the different comics are. We'll know more come Wednesday night when they actually show the competition. But for right now, we haven't seen the comics, but from the discussions, I think the comics go something like this, the ones I heard about. Nicole's has to do with being a Sloppy's serial killer. It goes back to her punishment where she had to wear that sloppy cereal box. Christmas is something along the lines of Mrs. Claus. She'll slay you. Jingle, jingle. Kazar is King Kazar. Enzo is something about meow, meow. Don't let this cat grab you by the whiskers or the tongue or something like that. Memphis referencing something along the lines of Memphis the mixologist. Keisha has something to do with her past season, her birthday, her springing out of a birthday cake, it sounds like. Tyler, something the comic has something to do with his hair follicles, I suppose, his curly hair and such. David, I heard something about maybe him versus Goliath, that maybe he's riding a lion. There's a bunch of animals there or different people. Not real sure on that one. Nicole Anthony, I heard just a very brief mention that she is either floating in the air or somehow up in the air, something along those lines. Bailey, it has to do with Bailey's Comet instead of Haley's Comet. Bailey's Comet. Don't know anything more than that on that. Danny, they make mention about, she married into the worst alliance ever, the Regulators. So getting back to harkening back to her season, and Dom, her spouse's season as well. And then Kevin, something along the lines of bandana animal. Something like that. So that's what I've heard. We'll see more on Wednesday when they show the comics. So let's get back to the conversations. In the photo room, Enzo and Cody are talking. Enzo saying, man, man, we got to decide what to do. He's worried that Christmas and Nicole are super tight. And he's telling Cody that, look, I don't know that Memphis will cut you and I, but Christmas may. So they're bouncing ideas back and forth on which way to go. He's also worried that Memphis will try and strike a deal with Nicole once Christmas is gone, if they vote Christmas out. Cody is saying, look, Enzo, Nicole and Christmas had a final two before Christmas voted to send her out the door. I don't remember that particular conversation. I remember Christmas and Nicole not ever really being real close to each other, but Cody is saying differently. It may just be him trying to cast some suspicions on Christmas to try to help push Enzo that direction of getting Christmas out the door. Enzo is saying he wants Memphis out, but that if he wins Veto next week, that Cody and Enzo are probably safe if Memphis goes out the door, or if Memphis wins HOH, with the idea that Memphis is going to target Nicole. Not sure that's necessarily the case, Enzo. Memphis may be targeting the two of you guys. I would expect him to, but perhaps not. Memphis does think that he's in a wise guy alliance with those two guys. He may envision them as the final three. Everyone needs to be a little careful right now. Cody is saying that he doesn't really matter from a standpoint of who's going to target him, that he assumes both of them, Memphis or Christmas, will target him the following week. So he's not making his decision based on that. So in the HOH room, Cody and Nicole are talking. Cody is recalling or talking again about Memphis's comment that Christmas was going to get Nicole to use a veto. Nicole says, Christmas is crazy. I'm not using the veto. I'm not doing that. Cody also is saying that Memphis thinks that Enzo and Cody will keep him safe, and that Memphis said, hey, Nicole can send Christmas home on her HOH reign. That seems perfect. So he's assuming that that's what Nicole wants to do, and that Cody and Enzo will be perfect with that. Cody's talking about what a good position he and Nicole are in, since really they're thinking Enzo will be their third final three, that Enzo hasn't done anything in competitions really. And so that makes Cody and Nicole set up very well for a final two and a jury vote. And I can see that happening. I absolutely can. Cody is telling Nicole about the two separate Wise Guys alliances that Memphis put together. Nicole may have already heard about these, but I'm not sure she actually had heard the name Wise Guys mentioned before. But again, Cody is just trying to put some suspicion on Memphis, so in case Memphis was to stay, just to make sure that Nicole and Memphis don't get any ideas to maybe team up and work as a duo as well. So we've got in the kitchen, Memphis and Enzo are talking. They're both agreeing that Cody cannot win this next veto, because if so, he may pick Nicole over each of them and send one of them out the door. Memphis, Enzo is saying that he's worried because Cody and Nicole have been talking for so long up in the HOH room. At this stage in the game with so few people, everyone knows where everyone else is. There's no secret conversations that take place anymore. Memphis is wondering what Nicole may really want this week. Both of them are thinking that Nicole may want Christmas gone based on past experiences and relationships, but Memphis is saying she may not really care. She may not care who goes home. It's not her vote, and as long as she just may not care. So in the kitchen, we've got Nicole and Christmas talking about Instagram followers. Nicole's just saying, I don't know that mine will go up that much, because all the BB fandom that would follow me is probably already following me. Christmas, on the other hand, is saying that she hired some company to help her bring in more followers, that she's hoping it'll be up over 1 million by the time she gets out of the house. Million's a lot of followers, guys. In the HOH room, Nicole and Enzo are talking. Nicole is saying that on her competition, the BB Comix, she got it correct the very first time. She didn't have any script. She had all the correct comics picked, hit her button, and that's why she got done so quickly. She also says, hey, Memphis is going home. That's just all there is to it. Enzo is agreeing with it. So it does sound now like Memphis may be the target, even though Nicole and Christmas had some past beefs. Sounds like Memphis may be the primary target. Nicole is complaining that Christmas is trying to get her to use a veto on her. I get it. I get it from Christmas's standpoint, make the effort, but I'm afraid by Christmas pushing for Nicole to use a veto, it's going to push Cody away from Christmas and make Cody feel that much more of a threat. Whereas if she pretty much just says, I get it, you're not going to use a veto, and really focus just on campaigning and saving her over Memphis, that may work and not create as much animosity between her and Cody or her and Enzo. So Christmas has to be careful about pushing too hard and getting everyone upset with her if she tries to do that with regards to using the veto. Enzo is responding back saying, look, yo, man, Christmas is lucky. The only reason she's going to be staying is because she's on the block with someone that we hate even more. And he then says, well, or just a better player that we have to get out the door. So we have the kitchen table. All right, here you go, guys. Kitchen table. Memphis is in pain. So Christmas is getting a pillow for his back. She's already wrapped his foot for him. Now she's getting the heating pad out for him. I really think part of Memphis is showing off his injuries is strategy of him wanting to portray himself as weak as possible, so no one fears dragging him to the next week and from a competition standpoint. I just think it. I just think it is. All right. House guests got liquor. They're all excited about that. They're using a measuring cup to make sure everyone gets exactly the same amount. In the HOH room, everyone's there. They're all non-game chat. They're talking about pet peeves of their significant others. Are you allowed to be friends with your exes on Facebook? Can you text friends of your opposite sex outside of work hours? What are your guilty pleasures? Just a lot of non-game type conversations. At one point, Christmas is called to the diary room. As soon as she goes to the diary room, and Memphis is already downstairs, as I recall, as soon as Christmas goes downstairs, they rush to open up Nicole's HOH wine. So just the three of them, Cody, Enzo, and Nicole, can drink it before Memphis comes back upstairs as well. Well, Memphis comes back. I think before that happens, they're all talking about social media influencers. Nicole is saying that she calls herself a content creator rather than influencer because it sounds better. But she then says, but really, I'm just a nurse. And everyone's laughing, saying, you haven't been a nurse in forever. You're not a nurse. And she's saying, yeah, I am. Absolutely, I am. They then make fun of Cody because he calls himself an actor. And they're saying, you can't act. You can't do it. You haven't acted in forever, Cody. At that point, They call upon Cody and Enzo to demonstrate their acting skills. And they both say, I'm not doing that. I refuse to do it. And they're feeling kind of upset. They've been called out jokingly to show off their acting skills. At that point, the house guests start reenacting different moments in the house this season. Christmas's fight with Bailey and Davon, things like that, recreating them all. It's kind of funny. Amazing what just a little liquor will do to get these people a little bit more fired up and interesting to watch sometimes. All right, so once Memphis leaves, they again pull out Nicole's HOH wine to drink it before Christmas can make it back from a diary room. Well, they don't move fast enough. They're right there as they're pouring the stuff out. Christmas walks in, or they look up to see Christmas getting ready to walk in the door. Nicole takes off full speed with a glass and the bottle of wine to get into the bathroom before Christmas catches her. It doesn't work. Christmas sees them. She says, what are you guys up to? Y'all are drinking that wine. Oh my gosh, y'all are trying to screw me over and not sharing and all that. And she doesn't seem that upset, but Nicole is so worried. The whole rest of the evening, Nicole is talking about, I think Christmas is really worried, is upset with me that I was not sharing the wine with her. Here's the thing, guys. This is a tiny little thing that could blow up a game if you aren't careful. Is Christmas upset? I don't think so. But if Nicole thinks that Christmas is upset, and she starts thinking about for the next day or two, next thing you know, maybe Nicole wants Christmas out the door because she's afraid Christmas is going to come after her because she's upset about the wine. So Nicole pushes to send Christmas out instead of Memphis. The tiniest little thing. There's so much paranoia in the house right now with so few people with $500,000 so close. The tiniest little thing could blow up in your face. So yeah, Nicole spends the whole rest of the night before they go to bed upset or worried that Christmas is all upset about the wine. So that's kind of the theme of the late evening. People eventually start drifting off. They head to their rooms. They turn off the lights, go to bed. So there you have it, guys. Night 67 in the books. I will be back Monday morning to talk about the next 24 hours. We'll see a little bit more. Again, I think my inkling is that Memphis is a primary target right now, but we've got time that could change. But definitely Memphis and Christmas are going to stay on the block. I guarantee it, guys. All right, y'all have a fantastic 24 hours. Remember, no Big Brother episode tonight. It's going to be Monday night instead. That's the new schedule. Y'all have a great one, guys. SKD 143. Cheers. Bye.